See, make sure it's recording. Okay. Yes, it is. Great. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Leads Kickoff webinar. I think most of you know me, but I'm Jennifer Myers. I'm the Community Business Rural Development Team Leader, and I'll be guiding you through this whole webinar today. And I'm really excited to kick off this grant cycle for FY25, which kind of freaks me out that we're already talking about 25. For those of you attending for the last few webinars, as I mentioned to some of the folks already, there's no drastic surprises. We kind of kept it pretty consistent from last year, but for any of those, it's a first time attending, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time. I just want to do a quick rundown on logistics. We'll be recording this webinar, and we'll have the slide deck and the recording on our website. So if you missed anything or if you want to go back, you can. On the slide deck is a link to our webinar, the website page, so you can look for information on that. If you have any questions during the webinar, please, you can use this chat function. You can also raise your hand, and it's kind of an informal time because there's not too many people. If there's specific eligibility questions, I may have to defer to our leadership or your regional rep. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. I want to start off by recognizing our fearless leaders. It's a little smaller than last year's slide deck. Right now, Mark Roper is our department acting cabinet secretary, and Sarah Gutierrez is our deputy division director as well. So we hope soon we'll add some more faces to the slide. I also wanted to keep in mind of our economic development mission is to improve the lives of New Mexico families by increasing economic opportunities and providing a place for businesses to thrive. If we go through this, I wanted to mention the various programs that we have at our department, and hopefully everybody knows who your regional rep is, but I'll have a map of that in case, and contact information in case you don't. Of course, we have JTIP and LEADER, our premier department programs. Main Street's doing a great job working with communities and administering grant programs. We contract with our trade alliance to administer the STEP program. And a quick update on the Office of Strategy, Science, and Technology. It's expanding. We currently have 2 job offers extended, and they've been accepted to add to the team. So we hope to announce who they are very soon. It's the, this is going to be hard, tongue twister, Office of the Science and Technology, Office of Strategy, Science, and Technology Program Coordinator. So that's going to be the new person, as well as the Entrepreneurial Coordinator as well. So stay tuned for those press releases. That should be happening soon. Here's a list of our other divisions. I just wanted to highlight film. I just talked with the film office, and we're on track to have one of the biggest years on record, despite a strike, and there's no signs of slowing down. The success of Oppenheimer has really piqued an interest in the film industry. Oppenheimer and the film office was on the cover of Variety magazine, so that was very exciting for us. This last legislative session, Outdoor Recreation Division received $10 million to do additional grant funding for their department. So those are just kind of some quick highlights I wanted to mention while I have everybody on the line. As I mentioned before, you should definitely know who your regional representatives are. And that's the most important thing for this webinar, because they'll be doing the eligibility and criteria for your projects as well as your entities. And right now I want to say that we're fully staffed. Yay, we have 2 reps per region with the exception of Region 4. So this is the contact information. I think everybody pretty much knows who their regional rep is, but if not, let me know and I will let you know. So let's go ahead and dive into the program itself. Most of the registered attendees probably are familiar with the program, but I will do a quick overview. LEADS is the Local Economic Assistance and Development Support Program. LEADS supports and encourages New Mexico communities in their effort to create jobs, with an emphasis on the importance of recruitment, retention, expansion, and startup activities. The needs of each community is a little different and how it's going to look like. So the grant is short-term economic development projects that are from $5,000 to $25,000. The grant through the LEADS are intended to create wealth within New Mexico and job creation, which is our mission, as the issue I mentioned earlier. The objectives for LEADS are recruitment, retention and expansion, or creation of jobs and economic development businesses. Development of tax base, so more jobs mean more revenue for the community. Property increases sales tax, which equates to, helping with roads and libraries and community centers. as well as business development, which of course helps startups and businesses with technical assistance training, marketing, and growth of economic-based businesses. I just want to also mention that every leads application will be evaluated by these objectives, just so you're aware. Let's go dive into eligibility requirements. So the entities that may apply, and I put a little asterisk there because I do want you to talk to your regional rep to kind of go through the criteria, but just the highlights. The organization is a part of an economic development effort that includes a public and private participation and can demonstrate their capacity to facilitate economic growth. They have an up-to-date community economic development plan and a marketing plan that supports business development and job growth. And within the community has adopted the Local Economic Development Act, or ideally the LOCART, which is Local Options Gross Receipts Tax as well. Okay, moving on. The organization status of the applicant, I've had it listed here, but they could be incorporated municipalities, and then also community stakeholder organizations that may apply for leads. The organizations could be a non-for-profit, but it has to be within New Mexico. It has to be a nonprofit for at least a year. And I have some examples here of different organizations, EDOs, chambers of commerce, workforce organizations. All applicants must be auditable and to be able to be eligible for state funding. So once again, work with your rep to kind of talk about your project, your entity, to see if you are eligible. Let's see. Oh, eligible projects. So let's talk about what they are and what the criteria is. Eligible projects support creation of expansion of tax base, business development through measurable goals. So we're looking for those consistent with economic development plans for the location. There's a definite clear beginning and end to the project within the time frame that you have. That there's a timeline and a appropriate budget. The following core economic development areas, which you are all familiar with, is business retention expansion, real estate, technology and entrepreneurial development, and workforce development. So those are the criteria for the actual project itself. Now, it's also good to know the ineligible projects or costs associated with this program. And they're listed here. So there's not that many, but just so you're aware of what is not eligible for leads. It's printed collateral material, website development or maintenance, professional development, and advertising. So those are no changes from last year, so there shouldn't be any drastic surprises for that. And the first thing in the application process, the very first thing you should do is consult with your regional rep and set up a meeting to talk about eligibility. This could be in person, it could be over the phone, it could be virtual, but I want some type of interaction and discussion to make sure that you qualify for the program, and also the project's also qualified. I'm looking through my process. So, and we want this to make sure that we can set you up for success. We want to make sure that we can provide you the technical assistance that you need. And once the rep has confirmed eligibility, we'll create an application in the portal for each organization. And I have outlined the kind of the dates that you need to keep in mind. It's now live, and you'll have to complete and submit online by 5 p.m. Friday, May 17th. The slides for the virtual presentation are due by 5 p.m. Friday, May 24th. So those are the deadlines that you need to be aware of. Just to continue on the process. So the virtual presentations will be from June 5th to 7th. They're scheduled an overview, and so allow 30 total minutes, but 10 minutes will be for the actual presentation. And I highly recommend, for consistency purposes, the presentation itself to make sure you have organizational background, overall budget, leads budget, and scope of work. Last year, some of the evaluators didn't have access to the application far in advance, so they were unclear on what the project was. And so we want to make sure your presentation has all those components, so if they will have access to your application, but we want to make sure that in case they don't have time to look at it or they don't, you have this information on there. So leads is competitive. It's competitive, so it goes through an evaluation. First, it goes through our staff, the Economic Development Department, and then we also have 4 volunteers from the SBDC. So upon completion of the presentation, the committee will grant award recommendations and the office of the and then we will present the scoring to the office of the secretary. And I have the dates outlined of the the grant agreement. I'm sorry, the grant period starts July 1st of 2024, or whenever the date of the executed grant begins, and then will end the following June 16th of 2025. So all approved activities must happen within that time frame. So just be aware, whichever of your projects you have to be able to complete it within that time. And here's a quick highlight of the important dates to keep in mind as well. All of our LEAD grants awards are subject to funding availability. Entities that do not receive LEADS funding, we will, and I include myself, your local rep, and we can meet with you and see if there's other funding opportunities that we can help connect you with. But the deadline for recommendations is June 17th to our cabinet secretary, but it might be our acting cabinet secretary, depending on what the situation is. And then the week of June 17th, you'll be notified if you are awarded or denial agreements, and grant agreements will be sent off to the applicable projects. For those of you that have already applied for LEADS and received it, I just want to keep you aware that the final reports are due June 16th of this, so that's in 2 months. So once again, the reports will be done through a portal. And the last bullets are pretty important. Make sure that you reach out to your reps. I hear make sure, can everybody make sure to mute? Not sure who that is though. I'm checking. Here we go. So again, once again, the final report is due June 16th for previous LEADS awardees. And just a sneak peek about, no rest for the weary. Certified EDO is coming for FY25. So I took a snippet of the key dates for that. Right now, the application's open and the kickoff webinar is June 27th. Once again, you go through your rep and they will send you the invitation for that webinar. And applications are due July 19th. And then we will start site visits coordination the end of July, and notifications will be sent out of the awardees in August. And I'm in the process of updating the website, so it should be available pretty soon. And then once again, for the previous awardees that already have their Certified Economic Development Organization awards, the final report is available the month of June. And once again, the reps will be sending out instructions on how to do it. For those of you that already have the certified EDO, it's the final report is the same as last year. And just for the people that have, this will be their first recertification. It's not very in-depth. It's more of a narrative. We don't want receipts. We don't want to have to track funding. It's more just letting us know what the funding, what you used it for, and how it benefited your organization. So it's not too involved, but we'll send you that as soon as we can. And with that, I want to thank you all for your time and attendance. And I'll see if there's any questions that came up or if people have specific things that I can answer. So let me stop sharing so I can see everybody. And let's see, does anybody ask a question in the chat? Creative Industries. Oh, yes, the Creative Industries is still housed within Mexico Economic Development Department. Oh, and then Kevin have to know. Lynn, yes, ma'am.
Just to be clear on the reports that are due from last year's LEADS, that's going to be a portal, so we'll do it online.
You'll do it online, yes.
Okay, and that's not available yet.
It should be available as well, but I will. Yes, it should. Yes, it is available.
Okay.
Very uncommitted. I have EDO and LEADS kind of meshed in between, but yes, it's available. And Lynn, if you did it last year, it's the same thing. Or if you use the Excel previous years, it's the same format, but in a portal format.
Okay.
The same information.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Oh, you made it easy on me. Great. Oh, I see somebody else. Let's see, Cisco.
Sorry, figuring out the mic here.
No
Hey, good
problem.
afternoon, everybody. As far as we did a business retention leads last year, went pretty well. Did a visitation program. We have a couple of ideas in draft for the FY25 request that we're going to do. We've done a couple for workforce, and I was wondering if you have any examples, notable examples of what a good workforce leads grant request might look like. Is that seminars? Is that running a workshop or something? That's I was just interested in what you or the group might have to say, Jennifer, on that.
Great, it's a great question. I might have to get back to you on different specific examples, but I will. And who else said that they were interested as well? Oh, Jacqueline. So workforce, and if anybody's even a rep that's been around has an idea or example, please feel free to say something. But let me just make a note.
Hi, this is Lorraine Ruggles, Region 1 Regional Rep. I know in the past we've had an agency assist with a career fair at the local community college that was approved, some funds for that. So that is an option to consider.
Yeah, and on our website, we have links to last year's awards, and I thought that might be helpful to kind of get ideas. So you might want to check out there for different, and there might be a workforce one, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. So let me put the link in the chat so you can take a look.
Well, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking of. I'm wondering if we could hold like a week-long workshop for young people, probably would be the focus, but hire a facilitator. One of the things that we're getting from our BR&E visits is folks not having soft skills, professional courtesy, how to write a resume, how to properly submit a job application, time management, how to dress, how to answer the phone. It would be I think it would be kind of cool to do that at the EDC, but I'm not sure if you can apply because under ineligible costs, it says professional development. So I thought maybe that was a no-no for leads.
Yeah, that's what and again, I keep putting asterisks and like, we'll talk it with, so I can always bring it up to our leadership to get to make the final call. But I think we can frame it in a way that may not be professional, but more like training. So can I be more vague in that? So we'll get back to you, Cisco. I'm not sure who was, oh, Kevin, did you want to respond to that? Or did you have it?
Yes, Jennifer. I think the professional development, wouldn't that just be limited to the staffing of the EDO?
That's what I wanted to double check.
I think if we're looking at professional development of people who participate in a function, then it'd be good because you're the one putting on the professional development. You're not paying somebody else to do professional development.
Right. And now that I'm thinking about it, I know we've had different projects that they trained business owners in order to transition to online and putting their Google status. So I think that might work. But yeah, we'll have a one-on-one. I think Bruce was next.
Yeah, thanks, Jennifer. This is Bruce with Greater Gallup Economic Development. And you know how much fun I had navigating your portal last time. So I'm hoping all that has been made easier. But my request in this, I guess, just to Lorraine, if you can send out the link to the portal again, so that we know we're going in the right door. And I'll try to remember my password.
Yeah, we can always reset it, so no worries at all. I'm a chronic password forgetter. Peter, did you have something to add? Oh, I'm sorry, Bruce, is there anything else?
No, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. Peter,
no, I was just mentioning that we've had, and I see Ren's on here and Lynn's on here, and we've also done projects in Mountain Air, but they're various permutations of workforce training. I mean, Ren her group did a really cool startup business training deal that brought a lot of small businesses that developed into real businesses in Los Alamos. And Lynn is doing the same, equipping the Cuesta Library with a lot of equipment and to try and bring in various seminars to help workers. And the same thing happened in Mountain Air, where they the city used an old abandoned city building and equipped it with computers and boards, and had a lot of seminars too. So the workforce training, I guess what I'm trying to say is there are a lot of different angles to do it in terms of intensity or level. And we've done it in 3 different ways in 3 different communities. So I think there's a lot of flexibility there for you, Cisco.
Thanks, Peter. Evelyn.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on the tab that said real estate? What does that entail?
Oh, I'm looking at real estate. There are some examples. So real estate would be industrial park, site design, permitting, development. So those are the examples that are outlined in the manual. I'm skimming to see if there's any, a concept design that like Lee County last year got concept design and layout for industrial parks. I'm sure there's other better example, received support. Let me take a look, but yeah, that the industrial park is the first thing that comes to mind. Any other questions? If not, I can let you off relatively easy and quick. So I guess it's just overall the importance of this webinar is just to connect with your rep and have a conversation, and they can help guide you through the process. And Bruce, yeah, if you have any technical difficulties, feel free to definitely reach out to me directly and I can help you, assist you. So I guess with that, I'll go ahead and end the webinar. Thank you all. And it's great to see a lot of folks I recognize. And yes, we'll be gearing up for the EDO right after this. So have your coffee. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thanks.